again, and this is where I even go my first critical, because this is going to be a Festivus episode, but we're only going to take one part of Festivus. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to put up a poll or anything like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to air all of my grievances on this show that I have with the College Football Playoff Committee. It leads to my first grievance. One, Georgia should have been ranked number 2 over Ohio State. Indiana, obviously, 12-0. You're the only undefeated team left. Indiana deserves to be number 1. Great job out of the Hoosiers. Great job out of them in the Big Ten title game. They beat Ohio State and really looked impressive doing it. Even then, you drop Ohio State to 3. And then you could get into an argument about Texas Tech and Ohio State. But Georgia, what they did to Alabama, exercised the demons from earlier in the year and did it in such a convincing fashion. They deserve to be the number 2 rated team in the country. That's my first major grievance, is that Georgia should have been ranked number 2 instead of Ohio State. Ohio State should have been 3. And I'll even go back and say that you did not exercise the demon. You eviscerated, you ghostbusted them. You made them look like a complete fool in Atlanta. And again, that's my first one. Texas Tech, they did a great job against BYU. And I'm going really fast and quick, fast and hurry or fresh, because I can feel myself even talking faster because of how worked up I am about this stuff. So I'll stop for a second here.
When you kind of look at the top 4, I mean, Indiana, the winner of that game was going to be number 1 overall seed, and rightfully so. But what if they would have undefeated? They would have won, they would have beaten a top 3 team or top 2 team. It would have been impressive. If Georgia won, I believe they should have been number 2 based on the same thing. They have gone through, they've done what they had to do. And if you look at in games versus current AP top 15 and even college football playoff top 15 teams, Georgia dropped 28 on Alabama, 21 when they first played, 35 on Texas, and 43 on Ole Miss. And it's the same categorization. Ohio State has played 2 teams, Texas, who they put up 14 on, and Indiana, they put up 10 on. So if you're looking at just apples to apples, that's where that 2-3 kind of gets, I would have put Georgia at 2, not just because of homer, but they're games versus ranked opponents, putting up points and winning games and margin of victory and all that fun stuff has to come into play. The Texas Tech Ohio State argument would have been interesting because Texas Tech has put up, they put the boots to Utah. They put the boots to BYU twice. So then that really, from that perspective, I saw the committee, they didn't even consider the Big 12 or Utah or BYU as quality opponents. Even though they have BYU as the number 14 technically, the second out, I really don't think they gave them much credence as like a quality opponent. So it is what it is. It's going to be entertainment now. You have 4. There's a chance we might get a Georgia Ohio State semifinal matchup if both teams can, keep going that far. So the TV viewing is going to be historic. But at 1 through 4, we knew the 4 teams were going to be if everything went chalk, which is where they're going to be seated. And I'm actually, the other thing, if the committee really wanted spice, they would now be potentially getting an A&M Miami winner versus Ohio State. They could have had A&M Miami winner versus Georgia and had potentially Carson Beck, January 1st matchup. Kind of thought that would have been something like, hey, we can really boost and have that revenge game. But, we'll see what happens the weekend of the 19th and 20th of December on how that plays out. But there's intriguing matchups across the board. But there are 2 that are probably going to be sloppy and ugly.